But no, seriously, we cannot thank you both enough for doing this. We're so excited to chat with you.
Yeah,
How are you two enjoying the podcast world now that you are officially
Yeah.
podcasters?
we're enjoying it. It's a fun.
Yeah.
It's an interesting learning curve because I mean Jordan's a little better with this stuff than I am, but I'm as like elder millennials, you either kind of grasp the whole like social media, like navigating that whole world, or you don't. And it's something that I've never really, I'm just figuring it out. And Jordan's done a much better job at figuring it out. He's kind of holding my hand through it all. I'm very much an analog boy.
No, but
Yeah.
he's learned to edit. He's learned to edit things really quickly
Oh, nice.
because like camera shots and how to put things together creatively. It's just there's so many tools now. The hard part is there's way more small, tiny things that you wouldn't even think about. Like just when you're adding an episode, the transcript, the chapters, all these little things that if you don't do it, it doesn't kill you, but it definitely doesn't make you better. And that's you're like every little thing, all these automations and social and things like it's a lot until you get a grip of it.
And now with AI, that's taking everything to, it's like as if we weren't trying to figure it out already.
Yeah.
Now there's a whole other level, which I get it. It can be helpful in some ways, but then sometimes it's probably the nostalgic lovers and all of us. We're like, can we just simplify it a little bit? Like, I don't know that I'm ready for all of that.
Yeah.
I'm not, Grace. I want to go backwards. I want to go back
Yes.
to pictures
Mhm.
and
Oh,
my little blue
pagers.
translucent pager
Mhm.
and
A
you
floppy
know
disk.
floppy disk and knocking
Yeah.
on someone's door to see if they're home if they wanted to hang out.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, now when you get a knock, it's like these videos I see, but I've definitely been saying this for years. Someone knocks, and I'm like, "Who the is that?"
Oh my
Oh,
God, you
yeah.
get
It's like, I'm
so
about to be
mad.
murdered.
It's like now
Yeah.
you're like, "Who's knocking on my door?" Like I didn't expect anyone. Like, of course, like people still do that, but you're like, and I talked through a ring the other day, and I'm like, "No, we're good." And I felt it afterwards. I'm like, "That felt so dirty. It felt so
Yeah.
weird."
You just assume it's like a solicitor now.
It's so true.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's only you're only scared and angry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Somebody's
one time it was
scared.
literally the neighbors doing Christmas carols, and I was still like, "Who is this? Are you sure?" I'm like,
You
"Oh,
just
man.
watch them sing through the phone.
I'm
Yeah,
so
you still
great,
don't
man."
answer.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a different world.
I'm obsessed with you guys calling this the most millennial way to unpack your childhood trauma. I feel like anyone that starts a podcast, it's like, all right, millennials, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all here
Um,
together.
It was
Yeah.
kind of like Jordan and I had talked about doing something for a long time because obviously Jordan and I have been friends for 30, 35 years, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We were friends before we even did Little Rascals.
Okay.
And,
Oh, cool.
so we were just like, oh, we got to do something like, get on the convention circuit or maybe start a podcast. And like, we finally just decided to do it and we're like, we're going to give this a year. We're going to put maximum effort into it, see how it goes. And, so far so good. And we're having fun.
I'll be honest, it's been way more fun than I even thought it would be. Like just the realizing how many similar things there are. Because like we didn't grow up like living in the Oakwoods and that kind of child actor life where you're living and breathing and you're like actually next door to all these kids and teenagers.
Uh-huh.
So hearing everyone's life and like why they got out of it, the fun stories, the not so fun and all that, it's way more fun to see like they're still at the core a lot of similar things.
Mhm.
Like the burnout or all these different things, like the themes keep coming up, but it feels very like we said in the beginning to ourselves, at the least it's going to be therapeutic for us
Yeah.
and hopefully others like it, but it's been really really fun in that way.
I definitely lived at the Oakwoods too for a little bit when I
Both of
first
us
moved out
did.
here.
We both did, not at
That's
the same
awesome.
time.
Oh, that's so
That's
funny
awesome.
because we used to go. So this is a fun fact about Little Rascals. When we were little, a lot of the kids lived at Oakwood because most of them were from out of town.
Mm.
I think there was only like 4 of us that were from LA, like Jordan and I, and a couple of others, but everybody else was from out of town. So they put everybody up at the Oakwoods. I think the ones in Burbank. I don't know if they're the Oakwoods anymore in Burbank, but
Now it's like the
It's
Ava or
called the
something.
Ava.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. But I remember going to like birthday parties at the Oakwood, and that's where everybody lived.
I mean, it's a great pool.
Great
You
pool.
barbecue. There's like a
Mhm.
volleyball court. It's not a bad place to be. It just
Oh.
is a little weird. Was a little weird at the same time.
Can you
I'm
imagine
sure.
how many acting
Sure,
careers
yeah.
got their jump start there? It's pretty
Oh,
cool.
it's so I remember
Wow.
even because I moved out for an internship and so I lived there for a summer and you're just surrounded by child actors and they're like stage parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you could kind of just look and tell where they were.
You're all kind of competitive, but hanging out at the same time, just eyeing each
Uh-huh.
other.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like what are you doing this weekend? Do you have an audition by chance? Like just
Oh,
like
which
fishing?
one?
Yeah.
Tell my agent.
Yeah. Oh
Let me
yeah.
page my agent.
Did you two meet through acting or you were friends like before you were?
We met on, so our moms became friends on like when we would go out on auditions, like because that's
Mm.
kind of, that was, the water cooler, like that's where everybody talked and met and hung out, and that's where we made all of our friends because we spent a lot of time going to auditions and waiting in casting rooms,
Too
and you
much.
get to know other kids and you'd play with each other, and parents would set up play dates and stuff, and um, my mom and Jordan's mom became really close friends when Jordan and I were like, Jordan was probably 5 and I was 6. And then we ended up doing Little Rascals together a couple of years after we had already met and, been friends, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, our moms are still best friends.
Oh, I love
Aw.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you guys find even as kids that I guess it's kind of a stereotypical thing about going into an audition that a lot of the other people in there were similar look to you? Like, did they look like you and kind of act like you?
Especially probably more so Blake than me
Yeah.
with the red
Mm.
hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. There was definitely, you'd see sort of the same kids, and we still talk to a couple of the kids like Jordan and I who we remember going on auditions, and our moms like, visually being like distraught because they're like, oh, he's gonna get the job,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, we're genuinely excited to see that kid because that's our friend. But little did we know, our parents are like, oh man, like you're not getting this job if he's here. Like he gets
Oh
everything.
no.
Yeah.
There's just such an interesting dynamic with that,
Yeah.
that
Hmm.
we're just starting to talk about because we never really, obviously we didn't know that at the time, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a unique experience because like when you get older and you're still acting, you definitely don't walk around playing with everyone at the auditions. I remember
Mm.
when I started being a teenager, you're there, you're like we're actually looking at your lines, and you're actually eyeing out people as competition, and it just changes completely. And that's the funny part of like there is a conscious transition at some point where you're focused on the audition and preparing, and you're not just playing like it's a playroom. And
Mm.
I definitely miss that the child actor aspect when it's way more carefree. I think helps you actually get more roles, and you hear actors talk about that. Like I finally said, give myself 3 more months, and then I got my big role, and that's how a lot of big actors talk about it because they finally stopped caring and weren't trying. And you almost miss
Mm.
that aspect was when it was generally probably the most fun, and why a lot of us at some point when you have years of that after, it just loses that aspect and kind of it teeters off to being less fun.
That makes a lot of sense. I
Hmm.
mean, think about just even in elementary school versus middle school. You just cared so much more and everything was so much more stressful, intense as you get older. And then
Yeah.
when you're just a kid, like you said, there's that carefree thing, which doesn't make you overthink. I think you probably just walk in and just go for it.
yeah.
Did either of you come from acting families? Like, were your parents actors, anything like that? No.
Nope.
You guys
We're
were the
just
first?
two wild and crazy kids.
Yeah, first and last. But
Well,
Yeah.
Jordan, since you said you have a daughter, is there any interest there, or do you have kind of a
Mm.
protective side of you that you don't want her to
It's
approach that?
funny. We've talked about it. We've always like thought about it. For me, it's I think I would do it when she's older if she consciously wanted. And I think the way the
Mhm.
world is now, if she was like creative to make videos and have fun, like I try to do that with her, just us two without like wanting to only post it. If we wanted to make something, I would, you make something on YouTube or funny videos together in a way that they're in on it. I don't know. At this age now, I would have only done maybe you put a baby in some commercials because you can put the money away. That's really nice. And they don't
Yeah.
consciously remember. But as they get older, if you have a creative connection that you can do something together, I think the world's open that they can make a video on YouTube and they can see it without reading the comments and they can just see like you're on TV, you're on a video. And I think like that's fun for kids if
Yeah.
done the right way.
it's something that Jordan and I ask our guests on our show, because obviously we just talked to
Mm.
former child actors, so it's an interesting question to pose to them, whether they would consider putting their children in acting, and
Mm.
being that we all know how to navigate it because we've all been through it, and we've either lived some of the horror stories or had a wonderful experience like Jordan and I for the most part. um you know, and the answers we get have been pretty like polarizing. Like some people like absolutely not a chance. I'll never expose them to. And then the others are like, yeah, well, you know, if they have that kind of creative, you know, they need that outlet, like then absolutely, you know. So it's been an
Yeah.
interesting balance.
Oh, I can't imagine. Like, because you want them to, you don't want to crush any dream of your child's, or you don't want to
Sure.
tell them that they shouldn't try something, but you guys have a very unique experience.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it was, like you said, hopefully there was a lot of positivity to it. I know you were so young. It's probably like sitting to recall everything might be a little difficult, but I'm sure you guys hopefully had a positive experience on Little Rascals.
Yeah,
For sure.
think, you know, I can speak for both of us saying our experiences were pretty positive, and you know, overall it was great.
Was it a
Yeah.
super extensive audition process? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan, you should take this one because you're
Jordan, you'd auditioned for
Sure.
multiple roles, right?
Yeah, and this seems to come up a lot with just child actors. I think they don't always know, and they're putting like a group together. I first auditioned for Alfalfa, and I went back and forth like 10 different times. I dyed my hair, I did the cowlick. The funny thing, like the funny fact I like to always say, my acting coaches at the time were very known family in entertainment and specifically coaches, but it was Blake Lively's parents.
Oh, wow.
Ernie and
Oh.
Elaine Lively. She had older siblings that were already in acting. One was in National Lampoons like early on, and they were fantastic. I wouldn't have got it without them. And I kept going back and forth, but they wanted somebody older and more mature that could also work longer hours. Because when you're a little older, like
Oh.
nine versus 7, that's different. It's also a different level of maturity to work with a kid that's the lead role in the movie.
Mhm.
So they really liked me. And usually when they like you as a kid, they'll try to make something work. They brought me in, I think, either for one of the bullies, for Woim or Butch. Clearly wasn't right. And then my coach, and like Ernie's just like, put on these glasses and go like this. Because he knew the character from the show. I put on glasses in one of my auditions. I literally just did a line as Froggy. And they were like, okay. And then they called me and pretty much offered that. And they had someone already hired that unfortunately has like a parallel universe of what if, because they let them go. I think everyone had like a 2-week hold in their contract because we're so
Okay.
young.
Mhm.
But it was really extensive, and Blake's is pretty similar.
Yeah, they cast. You know, we had 5 or 6 different auditions, you know, callbacks, and it was a cattle call at first. Like it was, you know, all like a nationwide casting call for Little Rascals.
Mhm.
And obviously it was a very long time ago, but I do have some like there's some vivid like moments that I still remember, and just being in a huge room with tons of kids. And I ended up not getting the role of Woim, and we knew that if we didn't get the role, and he did the kid that they had cast, similar to like what happened with Jordan, it just didn't work out when they started doing screen tests and stuff like that. And then we got a call on my mom's car phone, because you know back we had car phones.
Yeah, you did.
Peak technology, you know.
Uh-huh.
So we remember our agent calling and saying, "You guys got Little Rascals," and we're like, "Oh my gosh, like, you know, you're gonna be a movie star!" Like
Yeah.
it's crazy, you know. So and then that's how it went.
And then you did it.
Now I'm 40.
Yeah. And after it was done, do you remember how it was received? Because obviously in the world today, there's instant feedback. People don't have to wonder at all. But then was it just from family and friends, or was it at like the premiere that you guys kind of realized that people really liked it?
I remember just getting a lot of attention, like from just, we all had very distinct looks and it was big, but like for me, I just really distinctly remember my parents, especially my dad, like he barely watches TV and movies even growing up, but he really grew up watching our gang. And for him, that was a big deal with my mom. So like, there's very few things that were big for them versus just getting a job as their kid. And the fact that you had all these cameos and things, and like in the moment, it means nothing. Like we were talking about yesterday, we got to work with like Mel Brooks and Reba McEntire and all these cool people that it's almost like you lose knowing how cool that was until years later when it's too late.
Sure.
Not in the sitting president.
That's cool
That
cameo.
happened.
That's a thing.
boy.
There's a lot of cameos. Well,
Yeah.
what's cool though is Whoopi Goldberg was a cameo, and I remember being at a Laker game like a couple years later, and just walking up and saying hi to her. And she had me sit with her for like 2 of the quarters. And she was like
Aw.
really, really loving and remembering. Like, I think the movie meant a lot for everyone, even the cameos realizing back how much they probably knew the film. And it was handled really well.
Well, and then, okay, Froggy's voice. Were you a
Let's break
Rugrats
it down.
fan? Were you excited whenever you found out who was
Oh,
dubbing the voice?
I had no idea until years later who it really was. And
Oh,
I just know, and it's the funny part is I'm like constantly disappointing people when they realize it's not my voice. And I'm always like, how do you not instinctively know that? But then I slowly over the years I've gotten more and more defensive. And I'm like, look, I was saying the lines. I did it to get the role, and I was there filming it. And
yeah,
the check was for me. But
yeah.
then they're like, well,
But
you didn't even do the voice. It's like you weren't even. I'm like, and then yeah, just
You're a
people
fraud.
they get so disappointed. I'm like, then it gets me more insecure. But yeah, it's if it could be anyone, it's like an iconic voice actress, which is awesome.
I was gonna say, of all the people, Tommy Pickles from Rugrats,
yeah.
did you like put on the voice while you recorded or while you filmed, or were you just using your normal
No,
voice?
I always chalked it up to where they just wouldn't let me, and I think it was a liability because like it's literally straining my throat. Even now to
Sure.
do it, you have to like really do it. But
Yeah.
I think the reason women do a lot of younger boy voices is because they can control how a prepubescent voice sounds, because that's very
Mm.
common in voiceover in all ages. But I could do the voice, but I probably wouldn't keep a similar consistency. So I think that's the skill as an artist being able to control it. And I just talk normal, but I still did all the lines, but
Yeah.
like dubbing and voiceover work after like ADR is pretty common.
Because you've also done voiceover for things like Rocket Power and Hey Arnold. So do you
Yeah.
also enjoy that side of acting, is just not always in front of the camera, but just lending your voice?
Oh, if I could have kept doing cartoons forever, I would still be doing it. That's
Ah,
probably like the most fun work because I got picked
it
up after
seems like
school.
it.
Yeah, you get taken to Klasky Chupo, and you just go into a booth. Because I wasn't a lead, always in scenes with many others. I was mostly just working by myself. But to do a few lines in a few scattered episodes was just fun work, and then you get to see yourself in a cartoon. Like as a kid, that was really cool.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and it's just probably just really enjoyable work. I like that's something you can go back to anything really easily. Like voiceover work is just always really fun.
And I feel like now voiceover work, you just probably do it like we're doing right now. You probably don't even have to go into a studio if you
Yeah.
What
don't need to.
at the end, like in my 20s, when I still had, or like my teens and the early 20s, still had a voiceover agent. People would for the most part, the ones that were working a lot, they mostly built a studio. Even it's like 15 years ago, they built a studio in their house. They had a mic, and now you don't even need that. You just need a really good mic and a good computer, and that's really it.
It's
And most
crazy.
people are filming it at their home, and now you probably have to worry about like you know you license or copyright your likeness and fear of that in voiceover
Yeah,
more than acting.
which is wild to even think
Yeah.
about.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
It just seems to have changed so much. Like you hear a lot of stories of people that went to really sketchy locations for an audition, or they sat in like hours of traffic. So those things, I guess it's a positive
yeah,
that you can
for
just
sure.
pop on your camera and a ring light.
Well, you could do like 10 auditions in one day.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
true.
true.
But do you find that it's harder because there's no there's no actual person there, or is it always that you're reading from a script, just you anyway?
Well, what I did like in the booth, you have one of the agents with you, and
Mhm.
they're giving you direction, like, okay, try it this way. My unfortunate side, I was a little more shy, ironically, as I got older, and more conscious of like having more fun with voices and doing weird things in those years. So that probably held me back. I would love to do it now because I'm not shy, but
Yeah.
that work was more fun. You have someone, so doing it at home is fine. What we were talking about recently, Blake, is like the audition process now is self tape, and that would completely take me out of even wanting to like act if I had to audition again. I my last acting class I studied at, a big focus was being good in your audition, and your goal is to make a fan in the room, and part of it is just being the best version of you when you walk in. And you know, I got a lot of the work I did because a lot of the cast directors liked me over the years. When you're a personable kid or a personable adult, that eventually gets you more work. And if you remove that, everyone can film 100 takes and get one good one. So I don't really understand how that works out as a better net result.
That's true, because yeah, you would just keep like deleting and redoing, deleting, redoing. And then Blake, you've worked in the camera department on like some incredible films and TV shows. How did you move over to that side of the industry?
So I did a lot of commercials as a kid.
Okay.
Like that was, like Jordan did a lot of, I was more in the commercial world. And I used to work for this director named Joe Pitka a lot, who was a notorious commercial director. He did Space Jam. He's a legend. But his director of photography was a guy named Curtis Weir. And Curtis's son, Greg, ended up becoming one of my closest friends, like in middle school and high school. And I remember this moment, like being at their house, and like one of the first times Greg and I hung out, and Curtis was like, "Hey, were you in a bunch of commercials as a kid?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I think I worked with you on those commercials." Or Joe Pickett, he's kind of curmudgeon-y, like wonderful guy though. But eventually, I was a ticket broker after high school for a long time, and a lot of drama happened with that. But then he was like, "Hey, you want to try camera?" And he gave me a job as a camera PA like 15 years ago on a TV show called Terriers in San Diego. And I've been a cameraman ever since. And actually, I probably have a connection with you two, because I believe you guys met as tour guides at Warner Brothers.
We did.
Sure did.
So I've spent the majority of my career at the Warner Brothers lot. And some of my, cool. I love listening to the tour guides go by, because you guys always come up with these really fun, they like, everybody has their unique little jokes that they say. Like about so certain sets and the history of different things at the Warner Brothers lot. So we probably crossed paths before.
We probably have, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I loved working on that lot.
That's cool.
That's great. I mean, I did All American for 7 years and Shameless for years before that. So
cool.
I remember though, when we were at Warner Brothers, that was like the first time I ever saw like the little like trailers for schools.
Yeah.
Did you guys have to do the whole school on set during Little Rascals? I feel like that'd be so hard. I feel like I would not be able to focus if I was like filming something with a bunch of my friends and then having to go into a trailer to learn.
When you do it for so long, you just get used to it too.
Yeah.
And to call it school is like a little bit of a stretch.
Okay.
Like we had pencils and that's it.
You do a lot I remember doing a lot of coloring and like maybe a couple of math problems, like, all right, back to set.
As long as the timer says 3 hours every day, you're good.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah, they're really strict on that, right?
Well, they have to be, and they can bank hours too.
Okay.
Funny story for you guys, speaking of school, like set school and teachers and like that. I was recently doing a pilot, and we were shooting on the beach, and this woman comes up to me. She's got long red hair. She's a little bit older, and she goes, "Blake, do you remember me?" And I'm looking at her. She goes, "Jill," and I'm like, "Oh, Jill Kimmel. This was my set teacher for almost all my jobs when I was a kid." And I hadn't seen her in decades, and it was like a crying moment.
I bet.
Like, oh my god,
Yeah,
it was so cool. Jill Kimmel, she's wonderful. She's like been a set teacher for probably 40 years.
So she's still doing it.
She's still doing it. She was on set with the kids on this pilot, and I'm on the beach with the camera, and she came out to me, and it was such a cool moment.
Cool.
What a full circle moment.
Pause production for a second and had a moment.
Everyone's like looking around, what's happening.
Go away for a second.
Yeah,
I like that.
And do you guys find after all these years that people come up to you a lot and still either quote something from Little Rascals or just share memories from their love of the movie?
On social media, unsolicited, yes.
Unsolicited.
Very unsolicited.
You're like, enough.
But I mean this in a very good way. What's actually been really fun, and like I said, I'm in our social media accounts a lot, and what's been really awesome is getting the responses, because we're very active in actually telling people, "Hey, hope you check out the pod. Like, actually, let us know what you think," and really like messaging people. But hearing so many people say like, "It's so awesome to see you guys doing this together." Like they're happy that some of the Rascals are friends and doing something. Like it's like what they would hope, like would end up happening. They love that we're bringing other child actors, and it's just nice to get that feedback, because I'm sure you've got messages, and it's nice when people liked you as a kid and they're genuinely happy for you that you're doing well older, versus just commenting on like the sad stories we see get passed around from actors and musicians that happen, and people commenting. Like it's nice hearing that. Like a lot of people just want to see the people they grew up with doing really well, and they'll tell you about it, and that's kind of motivating, and it's nice.
It is funny. I feel like there's so much more like pressure for cast. Like everyone wants to know if they're still friends. I'm always like, no one cares if I'm still friends with the coworkers from the grocery store I worked at in high school.
No, they really
That's literally the joke I use every time, and it's even further back. People are like, "Are you still best friends?" I'm like, "Are you still best friends with all your like your classmates from kindergarten?" Because no one is.
True.
No one
But they
is.
don't realize that's what they're asking you. It's because it's so long ago.
Yeah. Oh, and it's because it impacted their childhood. Like it
Exactly.
just takes you right back to it. So then when people see that you guys are together in any way, it just like lights that fire, that nostalgic fire, and we just want more and more. It's why even if all these reboots, listen, if it's
Yeah.
only for one episode, we just want to see them together and then everyone can go their separate ways. But it's so cool
Yeah.
to see people reunite.
Yeah, it's fun.
I see it very differently now.
You see it differently
Yeah.
now?
Well, I see it differently actually after we've started it, because I thought the same as fans. Like I liked seeing the Friends reunion because you just almost want to see them together, and it kind of made like us think about it differently when we were doing it. At first, like maybe people would like it, and then realizing how much '90s nostalgia is out there. There's so many accounts on social media that do a great job at sharing the N64 games that you played and just like bringing you back to those memories. Like I still enjoy it, so it makes sense others enjoy what we're trying to do, and I think if you stay true to what makes you enjoy it, like clearly, like, the two of you, how you met and what you're doing now, you do it because you enjoy it.
Mhm.
The byproduct is you hope others enjoy it so you can actually keep doing it.
Yeah.
But if you don't enjoy it and have fun with it, it comes across that way, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I feel like for us, the whole point of doing this is to like make our 10-year-old selves happy to be talking to people like you about these movies we love.
That's it.
And that's awesome.
It's pretty simple.
and it's fun. Like, I have fun doing it.
Whose idea was the podcast? Did like one of you text the other one with the idea?
I think it was mine originally.
I think you probably said podcast specific. I think it was after we were on one. So me and Blake, we always would say no. We still do in a lot of cases, just because you feel bad to say yes, and then you want to do 20. So I think it was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, like something in that time range.
Yeah.
We did one together. The guy was telling us, I'm talking to the both of you. And I think, and you mentioned, hey, I would do it if Jordan does it. And we and like we texted each other after, and we're like, that was a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And then I think you were like, what if we did it?
And then it took us a couple of years to actually like,
yeah.
put it all together.
Yeah.
And like it worked out pretty well. Like, it came together quick.
Yeah.
Like
I love that we love the name too.
Oh,
It's
thank you.
It's so
perfect.
good.
It's so perfect.
Well, it plays so well because I think people think really at first it's really for the Little Rascals, but personally I think it's really fun because everyone we're interviewing is not so little from whatever they're known for, and I think
That's true.
that instantly brings you back to that feeling, and it plays itself well because you have to have some kind of anchor to be known in a clutter of podcasts. But when we started doing it, you realize like you have to go all in. That's what we consciously said. We're gonna use all the cameras we need. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that, and we don't want there to be any reason that we say, "Oh, it didn't work because we should have done these 3 things."
And you guys have such a benefit of being able to relate to the people that you have on. Like David and I just love to hear your stories and talk with people. We don't have that experience though. We were not child actors or were on a movie in the 90s, anything like that, unfortunately.
I know we wish.
We wish.
Maybe fortunately, you don't know.
That's true.
But there you go. And then you hear from your podcast and even people coming on and you hear their stories and you guys can relate. And it's probably a bit therapeutic, I have to imagine, for you and for the guests coming on.
it's very therapeutic. That was one of the main reasons of wanting to do it for me. Because there's nobody else who could relate to what you're talking about unless they, experience that. And sitting down with people and getting them to open up and talk to you about things that they've never really talked about before, when it comes to that experience of being a child actor. So that's been nice, but it's, sometimes it's emotional.
Yeah.
I imagine. Yeah.
We like to get into some, stuff that's, a little bit more personal. But it's good. And it's like you said, it's therapeutic.
Yeah. It's a safe space for you guys and for others that can relate.
Yeah.
And,
exactly.
and part of what also added to us doing it is it kind of came at the time. There's been a lot of documentaries and topics around child acting. Like it always would come up in articles online, but there's been very like purposeful documentaries. And it, you know, not against why those are made, but most things are done for you to click on it and watch. And the way people do that is when you see a negative story. And for us, we would always like actually text them like, that wasn't what happened to me. That wasn't what happened to you. Like, we know a lot of people that didn't. You know, the fact that someone's parents might have spent more of their money being more common than you think is just a parent control thing. That's not necessarily because of child acting. If that kid made money some other way, that same story would have happened.
That's true.
So we wanted to really not even specifically focus on a positive or negative, but just we're all, you know, everyone has a life as a person, as grown up as a kid. And for us, we share this bond with other child actors. And you do see all the things that you're similar with. Some's good, some's bad, but it's fun to talk about all together. And overall, more of it seems to be, you know, better than not in our experience so far. And,
That's nice.
you know, in the large sample size, that will probably stay true. And some parts of will be bad. The same way some parts of all of our childhood are not perfect either.
And would you say that maybe that's one of your biggest takeaways from doing it is that it's not all negative and there is room for there to be positive experiences, even if they're shared with other child actors? Like, is that kind of how you guys leave each episode, feeling that way?
Yeah, I think we want the positive experiences. You know, we want to give some of these like former child stars a platform to talk about, you know, their moment and like the ones that kind of were forgotten about, you know, give them their moment to like reflect on the positive, like what was positive about their career and like some stories from how they grew up and how they got into acting and like when they decided to leave acting. You know, what it was like growing up, like how their family dynamic was, what rewards they got when they booked a commercial. Like we talked about that yesterday. Like, you know, we used to, whenever you'd book a job, you'd get like a little reward from your parents. Like, you know, the main reward got put in a Coogan account for many years later. But you know, the only thing that mattered in that moment when you booked, you know, a guest star on a TV show, a guest starring role on a TV show from the early 90s, like, you know, maybe you got to go spend $100 at Sports Chalet. You know, that was so awesome in that moment. And those are the little things that we like to share with, you know, our guests.
Yeah, I never even thought about it that way.
No.
Yeah.
And I meant to ask earlier, was there a commercial that you did, like any that like really stands out that was just fun as a kid?
I did a lot. I did over 100 commercials in the 90s.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, that's awesome.
He was the commercial king. Like this is a real title.
Actually,
not something he gave himself.
Seriously.
It's
yeah,
right.
Variety magazine used to publish like it was just a page that said like you know, most like it was these probably weren't the right words they used, but the most working commercial actors. And 97 and 98, I did the most national commercials. But I did it like it was, you guys are a 90s and 2000s like nostalgia podcast.
Yeah.
This stuff is very, you know, we did Dr. Dreadful, we did Eggo Waffle, we did Squeeze It, we did Go-Gurt.
Oh my God, Squeeze It.
just took me back.
Yes.
Pizza Hut,
Gushers
Gushers,
is the best.
like Nickelodeon slime commercials, like all kinds of stuff that
Oh my
was.
God, every one of those would be a dream for a kid to do.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. You know, it was very important to the time.
I would put on every bio I had, every intro, I would put Commercial King still to this day
Yeah.
if I were you.
I think you should
that should
edit
be
that in.
your tagline on social. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a
cool.
lot.
That Commercial King.
That'd be great for a jacket. Like Bedazzled, the Commercial King on the back.
Commercial King. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
And then can you share where people who are listening to this can follow you guys? Make sure to keep up with your episodes on social media or where they can listen to the podcast.
Yeah, the Not So Little Rascals, all social media platforms. So TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and then Apple, YouTube, Spotify, and iHeart, and anywhere else that ends up going. So we just send it out to everywhere. And every episode so far, and our intention is to be together in person. So that's been a conscious choice of ours, and at the start.
Oh, it is so much. It is great. Like
I have
we miss
something
doing
cool
them in
I have
person.
something cool to share with you guys since
Please.
Oh.
you guys are,
Yes.
you know,
She has the best
and
saved props.
nostalgia. Do you guys ever talk about like toys and games from that era?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. This is pretty cool. So this is an uncut sheet of Little
you-
Rascals Pogs
Oh my God. Oh my
No.
from 1994.
Oh
so
my
cool.
gosh.
There's me. and then Jordan
I was
is
gonna say,
right
where's-
here,
There he is.
I don't
There
have
he
any of
is.
those. Those are the best.
and there's the dog. You know, it's kind of cool.
Oh,
So this,
That's
I mean,
so
it's still
cool.
sealed.
You can
I
you
think
can
I'm
You
the
can
only
never
one
open
that
So
that.
still
he
have
saved.
them.
He was so much. Blake was so much better at saving things. I was very anti-saving in my 20s and got rid of stuff I shouldn't have. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, David and I can just credit our moms and our basements
Yeah.
where it all is.
Yeah.
They kept a lot of stuff, thank God.
I just started buying all this stuff again.
Oh,
Did you?
I mean, I have a problem. Like I collect, you know, I'm a avid collector of vintage t-shirts. Like I wore a good one for you guys today. It's a Spice
Yeah,
Girl.
let's see.
I love that.
Oh my
That's
That's
God.
such a good shirt.
Yeah, it's
Blake,
pretty good.
that's
But
incredible.
I collect toys, and you know, and my wife's
he has
just,
some cool stuff.
oh my gosh, like you got it, like you're having a kid, like you know, we
I was
got
going to say your future kid
He's gonna
know
be
it
the
all.
dad.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the dad that's like, no, those toys are not to be touched. Those stay in the package.
Yes.
As he closes the door slowly.
Put a lock on it.
Yes. David, you need to hook Blake up with wherever you got the onesies custom made for my daughter Riley. Like you need nostalgic onesies, but you probably will have to get them made.
I want them.
Yeah, I found a
Yeah.
website. I can't remember what it was. I'll find it. But it was, yeah, whenever Grace had her first baby, I got her all these like Lizzie McGuire, all these Disney Channel onesies.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because you can't
That's
exactly find
It's
them,
like the
but
Cheetah
we
Girls.
have to keep it going. Yeah.
That's funny.
It's so
Yeah.
rad.
The commercial.
It's our
came-
responsibility.
The commercial.
Yes.
God.
Oh, wait, you need a commercial king onesie.
Yeah,
Daughter of the or son of the commercial king. Did you say it was a girl or a
that's
boy? Do you
awesome.
know?
It's a girl.
girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got her
That's
covered.
awesome.
Yeah.
She's going to go to school and just talk about 90s nostalgia, and that's it.
My dad was in a bunch of commercials in the '90s. Everyone's like, okay.
What's a commercial?
What's a commercial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so sad.
I know.
I hate
All
it.
those things, those breaks when I look at my phone. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Oh my, and the things they just skip now.
It's like, oh, I have 90 seconds. Great.
Yeah.
It's so true. Thank you both so much for taking your time
Yes,
and doing this.
thank
We've
you.
loved
Thanks for
everything
having me.
about
This
this.
was a lot of fun. Yeah. You guys are doing great. This is awesome.
Oh,
Thank you very
thank
Oh
much.
my God, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. You guys are so sweet.
Oh, thank you, you guys too. And Blake, good
Yeah.
luck with the new baby.
Yes.
All the best.
Same to you.
Oh,
Congratulations.
thank
Yeah,
you.
awesome. You.
Thank you. Yeah, I know he's 3 weeks old, so we're in the thick of it.
Oh, you're
but
in it.
Yeah.
We're in it, and
My-
we're surviving.
my one advice I tell people
Yeah.
that's like, it's not how to do something. It's just knowing the things you feel like last forever, because in the moment, everything lasts forever. That's like a tough time. And then after you get out of it, you're like, that was 8 days. And
Right.
I've had a dozen of those. I can't stop counting. And like, it took me a while to get out of that, but nothing lasts as long as you think it does. And no one's that special that your kid's doing something that no one's done or hasn't had it.
Yeah.
So it makes you take solace. Just look it up. Everyone's had that issue or that time.
Yep. And everyone's gotten through it. Yeah.
Exactly. And
No.
our parents' generations did it without anything.
Yeah, they couldn't pull
Oh
up
my
Reddit to see what other
God.
parents are saying.
There was
They
no
didn't even
TikTok
have like
to
the
look up
car
videos.
seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just like rode in the back of a truck. They just
Just hold it.
they were just literally holding on
Yeah.
for dear life, and they made it.
I mean,
I
100
know.
years ago, kids didn't have a stack of onesies. They had like a potato sack, and that was it. Or, you know,
Literally.
Yeah.
That's true.
you didn't have bottle warmers, or you know,
Oh
all
my
this
God.
It's
stuff
crazy.
that's showing up
I
in
know.
my house
Yeah.
every day.
Yes, I know. My dad like can't stand the bottle warmer. He's like, it takes too long. We never did this. I'm like, okay.
But science says if it's not this many degrees, your baby's going to grow up and not remember drinking milk as a kid.
Yeah, it's insane. Oh my God. Anyway, Blake, enjoy all the products.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Because it is fun. There's a lot of things. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
a lot of things.
Aw.
Good
Well,
luck.
thank
and
you guys again.
congratulations.
Congrats.
See you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks,
Nice to
guys.
meet you.
Bye.